for a TEDx, my friends told me that, bro, nobody's going to come there to hear you speak. Let me clarify. What they meant was that nobody was going to turn up to hear me speak. Because what can an actor say to a bunch of MBA students that's going to make any difference to their lives? They're going to come there because for the actual event that will happen later outside when I finish speaking, which is called Selfie. But I wanted to prove them wrong. And if any of you have come with that original plan, I wanted to surprise you. So I sat down, I thought seriously about what I wanted to talk about. I did one solo brainstorming session without the use of any illegal substances, mind you. And I came up with a masterstroke. I thought I will talk about something so cool that you guys will want to listen to me. That one word that people say that instantly gets everybody's attention. The S word. Yeah. Not the S word that you are thinking about. It's this S word. Also because I think more than half of you are engineers here, so this is a relevant S word. That's a more irrelevant one. I am an engineer, yeah, so I know. So what happened was when I quit my job and my parents were still processing the shock that I had put them through, and they were trying to figure out who this person was who had done this black magic on me. And nobody was told, except for a few close relatives, nobody was told because it's not something you're proud about, you don't announce, beten in naukari chhod di. But it's also the kind of news that spreads, unke beten in naukari chhod di. So I used to get into a lot of awkward conversations with my neighborly uncles and my distant relatives. And they'd come up to me and ask me, ki, beta kya kar rahe ho aajkal? And I didn't want to prolong that awkwardness because I knew it is going to lead to an awkward conversation. So I used to lie. I used to tell them ki, uncle, main startup kar raha hu. And I could easily take some 10 names that my friends were working in startups, they had founded some companies, so it was an easy conversation. But what happened was when I started working as an actor professionally and I worked over the years, that I realized that what I was doing and experiencing as an actor was not very different from what my friends in the startup industry were doing and experiencing. Of course, they were also experiencing social respect from their neighborly uncles and distant relatives, but that's beside the point. So what I thought I'd do is I would try and encapsulate certain elements that I think underline this parallel between what I do as an actor and what my friends do in the startup industry, and hopefully give some startup fundas in spite of being an actor. So one of the first funda is quitting your job. Yeah, I don't know why quitting your job always comes with images like these, you know, because I think it's a very simple thing. You go into your office, you put in your papers and you leave. So I think it's slightly more similar to this, if at all. It's a simple thing. Like, it sounds like a simple thing, but it's not easy to do. And anybody who's ever quit their job without having another job that day in their hands will tell you that it's not easy. There is always this temptation to do both, to think, yaar, main balance kar lunga. I'll do my job, I'll also do the thing that I love, and I'll manage. But I don't think it works out. It's almost like falling in love with another woman and hoping that your wife will find a balance and you will be able to do both. But I've not been married, but I strongly believe that it's not going to work out. So, I need a script, yeah, I'm an actor. So if there is a really, if there's an idea that's really driving you, that's really drawing you towards it, I think it deserves your full attention, is what I believe. Drawing the parallel from my life, I think when I was quitting my job, for example, I was looking for part-time opportunities to do theatre. I was meeting a lot of people. I realized, but very soon I realized that what the part-time opportunities that I was getting were actually very beginner level stuff. And I thought that I wanted to do something more serious. I wanted to work with senior actors and learn from them. And I could not find anything. I met a lot of people. I started meeting people in Bombay then. I was working in Pune. So I used to come down to Bombay, meet people. I met this really senior theatre director in Bombay. He had been working in Bombay for 20 years. And I tried to convince him to take me in a project or just devise a project where I would need to come on the weekends to Bombay. And I tried to convince him a lot, And I tried to show him how serious I was by saying that I would drive down every weekend from Pune and rehearse for those 2 days and go back. And he said something to me that really made sense to me. He looked into my eyes and said, "Who do you think you are?" And he was right. Who did I think I was? Like, things were not going to happen according to my convenience and how I wanted them. It was my job to figure out that if I really wanted to do something, I had to make a choice. And he said to me that riding on 2 boats is a theoretical concept. Nobody rides on 2 boats. And it's true, because even Ajay Devgan can't do that. No, I've seen it. Like, I found a picture of him riding 2 bikes. I found a picture of him riding 2 cars. I found a picture of him riding 2 horses. But I could not find a picture of him riding on 2 boats. And if Ajay Devgan can't do it, who do we think we are? You know, so riding on 2 boats, I think, is just a very short-term solution, and you should make a choice one way or the other as soon as possible. Second is improvise. Okay, so when you start working on something that you love, you have a very clear picture of what you want to do with it. You have a very clear idea of the future course that thing will take. But the world around us, it develops in some really unexpected ways. Society and technology that evolves in really unexpected ways. And it is our duty to react and respond to that, because otherwise we're just bound to fall into a rut, and the idea will suffer. I think in the startup world, there is the extreme version of it is called a pivot, and a not so extreme one is called a diversification. Correct me if I'm wrong, I have very surface level understanding of terminology. But I have diversified a lot in my career. I started from doing theatre and then moved on to camera. I think that was a big shift for me. I don't know how other people feel about it, because it was really tricky. Because in my head, there was a lot of internal resistance. There was this inner voice telling me that, dude, this is not what you came here to do. You came to Bombay to do theatre. It was not about being on TV or being in films. But then I had to shut that inner voice, because I realized that this new medium was only going to offer me something new to learn as an actor, as in my craft. And I could easily use these elements that I learned from different mediums and use them across these mediums. There was also this realization that if I continued to do theatre, I would have to survive on vada pav and chai. And if I wanted to have pasta and salad, which I really wanted to have, I will have to do some camera work. Even when I started doing camera, then I had to diversify a bit, because there is this ads, it's a slightly different medium, there's films, it's a slightly different medium. It requires different crafts. And recently I did this web show. And 5 years back, when I was almost starting to act, if somebody had told me that fictional content on the internet and acting on the internet is going to be a big thing, I wouldn't have believed them. I don't think anybody saw it coming. I think even the people who sort of started this revolution, the people I've worked with, I don't think even they saw the full import of what they were doing. So it was something that you realize is happening around you. I saw the kind of work that was happening on the web. It was really interesting. And some of that was even more interesting than, I think, the work that was happening on the other mediums. So I decided to jump. I think it's basically, in the end, about flexibility. That's the point that I'm trying to prove. The bigger goal. So it's a little counterintuitive from the last point, because the last point was about being flexible and being able to change your goal posts according to what the situation around you is. But there is always this bigger goal that I think is there always at the back of your head, which is to the tune of why you started doing what you started doing. And that always remains. And that always remains as a personal benchmark. I think it comes into play when you are going to make difficult decisions in whatever field of career that you choose. I use my bigger goal in making choices when I'm faced with difficult choices. I am sometimes offered work that does not seem to be really creatively satisfying, but it has other incentives. Crudely put, it has a lot of money, shitloads of money. And personally, to clarify, I have nothing against money. I think money is a beautiful thing. And I don't even agree with the pop philosophy that constantly looks down upon money and people who want to make money. I think money gives you a lot of flexibility. It gives you a lot of opportunities to do something that you can't do otherwise. It offers you opportunities to get experiences that not only help you grow as a person, but in my case, it helps me grow as an actor. So I have done work purely for money. I won't tell you what, because then you're going to go and look for it on YouTube. And I've also given up work when I didn't need that money. So you're always making those decisions in your head based on certain factors, whatever you're going through in that phase of your career. And these factors will vary from industry to industry, they will vary from person to person, but it's about the bigger goal. And I knew what my bigger goal was. I knew that my bigger goal was just to get as many good experiences as possible to grow as an actor in this phase of my life, and as many as I could. And for that, I sometimes needed money. So I had to do those projects where there was an optimum balance of time commitment and the money that I was getting, so that I could get through that difficult phase and get to a point where I could wait for good things to happen to me, which I think they do by the end of it. So this bigger goal, I think, is a light from above. It's like an inner religion. But like any other religion, it's important to keep it to yourself, to be content with it, to not look down upon other people's bigger goals. They might be different from you. Don't judge them for their bigger goals. It's a personal thing. Joy and uncertainties. I like the word joy. I don't know. It's not joy. Is not laughter. It's not happiness. It's just joy. And you know when something is joyful. When I started working as an actor, and even now, having worked as an actor, a lot of people ask me what attracted me to acting. And I could never find the right words to explain it to them until I stumbled upon the word joy. I think acting gives me joy. It's as simple as that. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm always laughing. It doesn't mean that I'm always happy and my life is picture perfect and it's a happily ever after. No, I have good days, I have bad days, sometimes more bad days than good days. I have good experiences, I have bad experiences. I meet some really lovely, beautiful, creative people, and then I meet some really shitty people. But it's all part of the process. And you will know when there is a joy or not in the overall process of it. And only you will know, because it's almost like playing a test match on a difficult pitch when you're batting. People are not going to see the whole match because it's a test match. They're going to see the highlights. They will see the 4s and the 6s. They won't see every ball. They won't see every ball that you get beaten by. They won't see every ball that hits you in the chest. But you know the joy of that innings is in the difficulties that you pull through. Joy and uncertainties are not exclusive. I think they can coexist. In fact, in my case, I think I derive a lot of joy from the uncertainties around me. Because you always know that a bad phase is not going to last forever. And you also know that a good phase is temporary. So you enjoy it fully till it lasts. I think this quality of deriving joy out of uncertainties is a required quality in somebody who is looking to start something of their own. Maybe it's a company or a freelancing career like mine. Maybe slightly more when you're running a company, because you are answerable to other people as well. There are employees, there are bosses, there are VCs. In my case, I am not answerable to anyone. I motivate myself. I have my own meetings, board meetings. I complain to myself, and I have to address those complaints to myself from myself. I know it's a little schizophrenic, but it's a lot of joy. Listen, don't follow. This one is about people. It's about other people. It's about people who will claim to know more about you than you and would like to tell you how to live your life. That's people like me who will come to a TEDx talk and give fundas. The trick is, I think, to listen. It's about being humble enough to lend a ear, but not follow it verbatim. Because what works for one person, I think, doesn't work for everyone in the same manner. And you can never please everyone. That's one thing I've learned. Like when I had acted for a while, and I could confidently say that I'm an actor, I thought I'd go back to those uncles and have that conversation with them. So next time I met them, if they asked me कि बेटा क्या कर रहे हो, तो मैं बोलता था सर मैं एक्टिंग कर रहा हूँ थिएटर. And said कि हाँ वो तो हॉबी है, काम क्या कर रहे हो? And I didn't know what to say to that. And now when I go for interviews as an actor, they ask me, sir, आपकी hobbies क्या है? And I say, acting is my hobby. I say, sir, वो तो काम है, hobby क्या है आपकी? करते क्या? Free time में क्या करते हो? I don't know what to say to them. Free time में PPTs बनाता हूँ. I don't know. So you can't please these people. You meet countless people in your life. I have met countless people in my life with countless opinions about my life. Some people come and tell me कि you are stupid and crazy, which is partly true. But then I meet people who come up to me emotionally and they say they're proud of me and they think I inspire them and I've done so much for I don't know who. No, I'm not doing that. I can't let both these kinds affect me because I can't be bothered about the first kind because I know what my bigger goal is, which I spoke about, and I know why I am doing what I am doing. And I can't let the second kind also get to me. I can't gloat about that because, again, I know what my bigger goal is. I know why I am doing what I'm doing, and it's not about making a point. I'm not a social activist. I'm not trying to bring a change. I'm just a boy standing in front of an audience asking them to love him. So, and sometimes these motivations are too simple for people to comprehend, I think, because they don't understand how simple your motivations can be. Also, I think what you get mostly from these people, from other people, is actually your data. There's a lot of their opinions, their advice and everything. You collect it. But you also know that data in itself has no value. It has no significance until you apply an algorithm on it, which is you, the unique individual, the unique personality. It's almost like food. You know, two people can eat the same amount of food and the same kind of food on a day, but it does not mean that the next morning both of them are going to produce the same amount and texture of shit. No. Your shit is your shit. It's unique. Treasure it. Don't look at other people's shit. Don't be jealous of it or don't judge it. Because it's your shit. In the end, I'll just wrap up also by saying on the same note that there are a lot of oversimplifications of life, which is a different form of advice, which happens a lot on the internet in the form of quotable quotes and Facebook memes that we all share and like. But don't let them guide how you live your life because life is much more complex than that. Memes are for likes, they're not for life, is what I'd say. And I'd leave you with an oversimplified. I don't know who that anonymous is, but I agree with him. Cheers. Thank you.